Welcome to the Command Challenge. In this challenge, we're going to ask you to input 10 contacts per day into your command system. The point of this is to get you used to entering contacts in, familiar with the system. Even if you haven't even logged into Command or anything before, this is a great way to start becoming familiar with everything, as so much of the interface is a lot like most CRMs that you're going to be accustomed to or you already have seen. So let's check it out. Here is the command after you log in. One of the ways you can get in there is go to agent.kw.com and you enter in your Keller Williams ID information. Once you're in here, you're going to click over here on the side where the two people are, kind of silhouette there, for contacts. Once in contacts, you'll see over here on the right, there is an import and an add contact. For this particular command challenge, we're going to be doing manual inputs, putting in 10 people per day. So we're going to click add, and then we're going to put in the first person. So our first person here, I'm going to just call a.sample contact. Now the system knows to separate that in first name and last name. So you put it in there, you don't have to worry about where to put it. If you are putting in 3 names, understand that it will break them up. But in this case, a.sample stands as the first name. Then for person email, you put in what the person's email is. In this case, it's samplecontact.com. Put in a phone number for them. It's just the number we're going to use. And then you select who the owner is. If you're on a team, you'll be able to switch this out. If it's you, then of course you're just going to leave it yourself. Now you down here have an option, depending on what the contact is. If the contact is just a family member, you're not going to mark them as a lead or add them to a sales pipeline. But if it's a buyer or seller, someone you met at an open house, even if it's a friend or family member who's looking to buy or sell, you will mark them as a lead and you will want to add them to the sales pipeline. Some of you may or may not have this send to lead routing active. That's when you have a process set up that will send your leads that come into command. We're not going to worry about that right now. So most of you are going to be putting in just people you know. Maybe you're taking them right from your phone, most likely. So you're going to put them in there. Now, we're not going to get too worried about tags at this point. Just go ahead and create a tag or put in one. If you know one is they're a buyer or a seller, the system already has tags. They're gray like this. You'll see that I have some of the others in there already, but we'll teach you that in the coming weeks. So buyer, again, also if they're seller, you're able to add it. If it's an agent, those are system tags that already exist. Then by clicking on add more information, because you could click create, but by clicking add more information, this is where we can start to harness really some of the power of command. In an additional contact here, you can put in a street address. So for example, we can just say 123 Main Street, which is the most common one that we use as examples. And we're going to pick this one. You see it populated different addresses. I'm picking the one in Los Angeles, California. And then if you know that's the same as the mailing address. If you know Facebook profile stuff, you can put there. Command will connect all of that. Now, the thing about it is the more data you can put in, the more robust the system becomes. The less data you have, it'll just do some of the basic things. But you may want to go in here and as you fill it out, you can mark on the contact which one they prefer most. This one, the sample here is a texter. If they have an additional email, like a work email that you want to add in there, you can do that. As you come down here, if they have a legal name, let's say a.sample, that I use, real name is Joe Keller Williams, for example. And you can put that there so then you remember. You can also add a description about who they are, why they're in here. If you have a birth date, put their birth date in here. That's going to help you for some of the action plans that are available. We're just going to put this one as May 31st. We'll just pick a year. We'll go back to the 80s, 1980, sure. And if they have a spouse, as a.sample does, you just start to type the spouse's name and it will show up for you in, spouse right there. They're already in the system, then you can connect them, just that simple. Also, if you know where they work, you can put that in there. And if you have previously put them in as working somewhere, it'll even auto-populate where the address is. Now, the sales pipeline, that's more for people who are doing a deal. We're going to talk about that when you get to opportunities. but this would be where you'd be able to say where they're from. In this case, we're going to say this one is just our sphere of influence or our SOI, family and friends. All right. And you can have custom fields. I don't really recommend getting into that quite yet since we are just learning to input people into command. So after you input that information, you click create and the person is added to command. You'll see right here, a.sample contact, and there is a.sample, the spouse contact. And that's why they are linked together because they're in there. Now, take the time to become familiar with command. During the command challenge that we're doing, remember, this is either part of your onboarding or this is part of the command challenge where we are actually giving away prizes. So you want to make sure that you're doing those so that you are eligible for the prizes. If you're doing it for onboarding, you want to do it because it makes you eligible for the prize of deals coming out of your database. In any case, check out the next command challenge. Thanks for checking this out. We'll talk to you later.